Hello. Hope everyone's doing good on this fine day, doing well and enjoying where you are in life right now. And if you are not, if you are, having some low moods, low days, take some time for yourself, look around. There's many examples, many examples of, of what there is to be grateful for. And sometimes we get stuck in the hustle and bustle of life and of course the expectations of others. We're around the holidays at this time. So there's a lot of needs to be met. And that can get blurred and meshed into what your needs are. So if you are on this day 28 with talk 10 for 30 in real time per se, you may be feeling the expectations of others. You may be feeling that vibe. And if you've got a big family, lots of friends, everybody has a different perception of what and how they want to spend their time during this time of year. And a lot of times as well, especially within those expectations, is the expectation to be around people, be with people. And sometimes we don't want to, and that's okay. It's okay to not want to join the big gatherings. I find it's one of those societal conditioning, again, around the holidays. And society has conditioned us to behave, perform, include ourselves in the traditions. And absolutely, there's a spirit to that. And I think that's sometimes we miss that what the intention of this time of year is. And it is really what it is. It is connecting with spirit. And when you are surrounding yourself with family and friends and doing your traditions, and by all means, this does bring much happiness. You can feel it in the air. There's that vibe in the air of the spirit of the holiday. But society has conditioned us to perform a certain way. All the gifts and all the money spent and the parties, and many times we put on a face, we put on this facade, the mask, in order to perform on your life stage at this time of year. And many of us are walking away completely exhausted and actually needing a holiday after the holiday. And that's where your soul and your spirit is actually not aligned with what you're doing during your day. It is my first day of holidays. And I do holidays because I try to make every day a little bit of a break where there needs to be balance. So in terms of holidays and weekends and self-care and such, I don't just put that on the weekends. I don't just put that in holidays. I try to balance that out every day where I can. But today is my first day of holidays here, and this just kind of came in for me today. And I wasn't even planning on talking about this conditioning per se that we are in. I really wasn't. It's just totally at a different topic. But I'm in flow. So, but obviously somebody needed to hear this. And I spent the whole morning with myself and kind of leveling up in vibration, chiming into what I need, not what others need. Of course, I have some dinners and festivities within the next couple weeks, which I'm looking forward to. However, there's also a part of me that says, holy shit, we're busy. We're so busy. And so take some time to find what your expectations are around the holidays here. And if you say no to a dinner, or if you say no to a party, many of us are working on those habits. And we know during this time of year, it's a trigger for drinking. And if you say, I don't want to be around the booze and the rowdiness and I don't want to be around it, that is okay. That is okay. And if the ones out, the family and friends and colleagues are judging you for that, I understand that's a lot of pressure, and I understand that's part of the conditioning. That's not your shit. That's not your problem. That's theirs. That is theirs, and they can't. It's the shame that comes along. Come on, you've got to come for dinner. Oh, come on, it's the holidays. Oh, the gifts and the comparisons and we just really need to. We need to bring ourselves back to what we want. What do we want through the holiday? I surround myself with family and with friends because I enjoy that. I absolutely enjoy that. But when it comes to checking in and finding what I enjoy, what do I feel? Do I feel good in this scenario? Do I feel good in this environment? Am I forcing myself? Because if you're forcing yourself, it's not the example of kind of, releasing that familiarity. That's not what this is. It's not forcing yourself to get out of the habits that are keeping you stuck. I'm talking about, engaging in activities, engaging in festivities, engaging in what society thinks you should engage in and how they think you should spend your money and your time. And, this year a lot has gone up financially. It's expensive to live right now. And I say, if you are going to choose between, food and presents or paying a bill and presents, spread your love, show love during this time. Show, if you're going to sit around the table with family and friends, you don't need to bring presents. You don't need to show we're so materialistic. Again, that societal conditioning is, these expensive gifts and such. You can make a gift. You can paint something. You can write a poem that comes from your heart. And because if you're sitting there with no money and you're broke, what's that doing to your mindset? Trying to think about how to put gas in the tank. It's not worth it. And if that conversation is frequenting in your thought loop, a default response is to spend money on other people during this time of year because that's what society tells us to do. It's again changing these myths, changing the myths, and changing the story around that, and say, well, actually, I am valued. around this dinner table with beautiful food. I'd rather spend money on food and have a beautiful dinner with, and with some laughs and games and kids, and we get all caught up in the material aspects of the holiday, and we've lost the spirit. We have lost the spirit, and that's what it's supposed to be all about. Okay, so challenge yourself this season. If you are hesitant to go to family and friends, check in with yourself and ask yourself the stories you're telling. What are you saying about that? And if you're feeling excluded, if you're feeling that you're not aligned with your family and friends, I mean, we all have different beliefs. We all have different opinions and perceptions and worldviews and the lens in which we see ourselves, the world through. And what you have to say, what you bring to the table, even though it might be different than the ones around you, it's still valued. You're still valued. By all means, if you're having opinions and that are judging people and belittling and it's shaming people, and I mean, that's a vibe in itself. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about finding value in what you have during this holiday, not comparing yourself to the ones around you, and show up as you are. Show up as you are and tell yourself that you are worth being here without the big boxes of presents and such. This is not what it's about. All right. So I totally had a different topic there. I really did. Because I spent the day with myself this morning. I gave myself permission to spend the day, the morning, and we're heading into the afternoon here, but I've got a few things to do. But my default response was, and I'm on holidays from my full-time job here. I don't even like to call it a job. It's part of my life. I'm a helper, and this is my purpose in life. So it's not a job. It's what I choose to do with my day. But I'm shifting. I'm taking a few weeks here, a couple weeks. But I gave myself permission today to chime in with what I needed, and I don't need permission from anyone else to do that. I don't need permission from anyone else to tell me how I should spend my holiday or the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to take this pledge here today. And if you want to do it with me, that's great. But I'm not going to judge anybody else for choosing to do something different than what I expect. I am going to love them for who they are and what they choose. They don't need my permission, just like I don't need their permission. And so if we can take something from today, it's we're always looking for somebody's permission. We're always looking for validation outside of ourselves to do the things that we know we don't want to do. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about goals here. I'm not talking about shifting your habits. Yes, some of those habits are, majority of the time when we're shifting them, are very uncomfortable. It's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about when we are aligned with ourselves and we are getting the downloads of where we know we should be, not where we think, but in our heart, where we know what we should be doing, where we should be, the people we should be with. And we look outside of ourselves. And we do this because we've been conditioned very early on. We're looking for mommy and daddy's approval. I'm going to wait for you to tell me what to do. And I'm going to be a little girl, good little girl and a good little boy. Because if not, there's consequences. And I'm going to wait for you to tell me what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. And I'm not going to step outside the line too much. You know, that takes us away from ourselves, and we actually put on the identity of somebody that is not us. And so shifting that identity, what that means when you are looking at your true identity, what your identity is, who you are authentically, what you are aligned with, what your soul is aligned with. You give yourself permission to do that. So once you start giving yourself permission to do that, and you are letting everybody else, leaving everybody else alone to do what they will, we're going to start to clear energetically. We are going to start to clear all that clutter, that energetic clutter, because we're so worried about what everybody else is doing, how they're doing it, that what they're not doing right, how they're doing this wrong. I would do this different. And it's, again, it just doesn't feel very good. It just doesn't feel very good. So let these people, let them do what they want to do. And if you're not aligned with it, you have that choice. You have that free will to choose who you're around. But if you're around people throughout the holiday, especially, that is really just kind of leaving a bad taste in your mouth, you can choose not to be with them or not. Or energetically, just let them be in their corner and you be in yours. Not gossiping behind their back in the kitchen, not, you know, it just doesn't feel good. We need to stop doing that. Okay, so give yourself permission. That's kind of what came through for me in this, is giving yourself permission to be who you want to be and who you want to be with, and spread love. Spread love. And if you feel like you want to start gossiping or say something that you know that really wouldn't make a difference, you're talking shit because you can't control that person's behavior, actions, what they say, completely remove yourself from it. Maybe you can't do that physically, but you can absolutely do it energetically. And once you make the choice and you give yourself permission to do that, you're going to see a difference in how you view the holiday. All right. Okay. Finished up day 28 here. Thank you I've received so much love from family, friends, from people that I don't even know. And I got to say, I'm so grateful for me. This came in for me today that I gave myself permission to commit to these 30 days. I didn't know what they were going to look like. I didn't know what was going to come about it. And I'm happy that I gave myself permission to do it, because I know even with launching my business, with launching this practice, you know, I sat in limbo for a while, and I really, now looking back on it, I was kind of waiting for something outside of myself to say, like, till this happens, until I gain this skill, until I get that imposter syndrome kind of came in for me. And I'm, you know, I say thank you to me today for giving myself permission to being vulnerable, jumping out raw as you can be here at this point. But yes, the permission piece is important here. It's very much coming in for me. So somebody needed to hear it. You are in charge of you, and you are entitled to joy and happiness throughout this season and every single season. And that's why I struggle with the I love the holidays by all means. Like I said, there's a spirit in the air there, and I love it. But I also can't help but also I recognize that it is societal conditioning, and that many times leaves people feeling alone, isolated, in lack, without, divided. So it's both, right? It's both. I choose to stay on the side of great gratitude and light. However, I've been also practicing this for a little bit. And so, be kind, be kind. If you feel, if you feel yourself going to judgment, if you feel yourself saying something that is not very kind about somebody, or excluding somebody from a dinner, or saying this is my side that night and his side the other night, the division, don't exclude anyone. Don't exclude anyone. We've been apart the last couple of years enough here. Let's put our judgments and differences aside for a little bit here, and try to bring the heart to the forefront. Bring your heart and bring love to the forefront. Energetically, that will win all the time. That vibration of love, acceptance, gratitude, imagination. This is a magical time of year. Let that lead. Let that lead. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop talking. I send you all the love and all the light. Whatever you are planning this season, these next couple days, couple of weeks, I will hold you in my heart. Bye for now. We'll talk again tomorrow.